John, on the income side,
Yes.
the income shortfall is not just the special line items, capitalization fee and sale of lots.
No, it isn't.
It's also the assessments.
The assessments.
Even after you take into consideration the allowance that was made in the budget for delinquencies, we're suffering much greater delinquencies than we were planning on. Can you comment on why that is? Is that a greater rate of delinquency, or were the original budget numbers incorrect?
I don't know the answer to that at this time, Wayne. I'll look into that also. I wasn't as concerned about some of those numbers as perhaps I might be, but I'll look into them. I don't know. We're seeing receivables go up, so clearly that would account for some of that. But I haven't done the comparison to see if that's all of it or not yet. So.
The principal driving number there is prior year assessment collections at 14,000.
Well, that's one of them.
Yeah, but that's the principal.
That's the biggest one of the bunch. But also, just our plain old assessments are held.
Yeah, but if you look at them, for example, assessments houses 4017, we're $2,000 under. In 3 months, well, 2 months actually, it's February, $1,000 a month. Yeah, it's not free money, but it pales in significance when you compare that to the 14,000 that we're behind in prior year assessment collections. So yeah, I have not drilled down yet on some of those smaller numbers.
Finally, just a comment on the roads program. I don't see the roads money being set aside.
I don't either. I don't either. That was just a think piece. That second page in here was nothing more than a think piece. And yeah, you're right. So that's been pointed out to me by several members of this board, by the financial management task force, that was wrong, and shame on me.
That number is never going to tie in strictly with your budget anyway, because you'll have carryover amounts from previous years to be even plural. The 06 monies collected this year for assessments in 06.
We don't have the problem with the carryover on the roads program from 06.
No.
No. We're 250,000 in the budget.
Yeah.
But you still have collections for that special assessments. If you were to book it all to that particular line item.
No, I don't. I don't see your point, Ray. What is your point?
If you're trying to allocate these funds to a certain line item, and you would still have carryover amounts if you did that in 06, those monies would still, as you would in 07 if that were your policy.
Okay, I guess what you're saying is that had we collected more in 06 than we spent, we'd have some carryover.
No, we're just talking about revenues.
I don't want to take up this group's time. I'm slow. You and I can get together and you can explain to me what you're talking about.
Any other questions, comments on the finances?
The account receivable number on the last page is that before the D, right before the next tab. And you've got the accounts receivable is 24%. How are you calculating that? Are you including the debts that were transferred from the utility company?
No, those are just straight the.
All right, so you've got 24% there, and looking at the spreadsheet, you don't have anything close to 24%. So the question remains: how are you calculating that as 24%?
Let me answer that question by turning it around to you. This statistic was a statistic that the board last time asked to have put together. Kilmer nor I totally understood what we were trying to get at this. He's taken his best shot at it.
You mean just pick the number?
No, of course not.
Okay, then I'm asking for some information on how it was. If you don't know, that's fine. I'd like the next time for that number to reflect something
Well, it does.
something close that is reflected in the AR
Well,
numbers.
we've said that a couple of times here, Chris, but you need to tell me what two numbers you want. What number you want divided by what number.
Well,
Come
all
up
right,
with a
very
statistic.
specifically, you got AR. I'm assuming that we're talking about AR for this year.
We're talking about AR for this year.
And then you've got budgeted assessment income.
So you want this statistic to be budgeted assessment income?
I'm reading to you what it says. I don't care what it is, I just want it to be what it says it is.
Okay, I'll make it what it says it
It
is.
is nothing close to 24%.
Okay, he didn't generate that number out of whole cloth.
I know you guys didn't. That's why I'm not willing to accept that he just came up with something. It says here 24% of budgeted assessment income. Now, I think that for a lot of reasons, these numbers need to reflect what it is that they say they're reflecting. And that is not even close. It's not even possible.
Well, I'm sorry, and again, as I said, tell me what number you wanted to see with this number. What two numbers do you want divided together to come up with this statistic? This is a statistic that you and Wayne want to calculate. I have no idea what you're trying to capture in this.
Now look, if you just took what you got written there,
Yes?
and you look at the budgeted assessed income,
Okay, give me a number. Where is the budgeted assessment?
well, that would be lines 4, 11, 17, 19, and 20. Would it not? By definition.
I'm trying to find, where are you? What?
Hey, Jeff,
Hey, Jeff.
by definition, budgeted assessed income is lines 11, 17, 19, and 20. Is that not correct?
That's correct.
All right, now if that is correct, and out of a total of something approaching $310,000, we have a deficit of something less than $10,000, which would be less than 1/30th, or about 3%, then 24% just simply doesn't compute.
Chris, where is this 24%? What report is that on?
It's on the very last page. It's the statistic that you,
I'm just asking a question.
I understand you are, and I want to get to the bottom of this too, because accounts receivable as a percentage of budgeted income. It's roughly 25%, and I can tell who's got it.
Budgeted assessment income, that's what it says.
Right.
Not income, budgeted assessment income.
Right, right. And the budgeted assessment in, the accounts receivable are roughly 400K right now, right?
Now, that's the total, so that's not this year.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What do you want to be reflected in here?
If you're going to take a cumulative number and apply it to a static number or an annual number, it means absolutely nothing. If you're going to take a cumulative number of all assessments that have not been paid,
So you want
then you have to
this,
take a cumulative number of all assessments that have ever been paid.
I hear you. You want this statistic to be what? You want
Exactly what it says.
accounts
Year-to-
receivable, the
year-to-date
monthly
both
accounts
cases?
receivable?
Right.
Do you want year-to-date in both cases?
How else can you do it? What else does that number mean if you don't do it that way?
I don't know that it means anything.
I thought our goal was to achieve some numbers that help us to understand things. This number doesn't help us to understand.
Year-to-date over accounts receivable, year-to-date assessment,
Budgeted
Budgeted.
assessments,
budgeted?
which are, and
That's
remember,
That's what will be reflected on the chart from here on forward.
that's currently at about 3%, which is a huge difference in terms of people understanding what's going on.
That will be reflected from here on forward.
Any other questions, comments on financials?